We are so close to the end of High Guardian Spice, and in the second to last episode we have another side quest. A vaguely connected side quest to the main plot. Thanks, writers! Alright, so let's just jump into it. We're on the mermaid episode. So we open up this episode with all of the students fighting this giant octopus. For some reason, Amaryllis is fighting with the axe rather than her magic wand that can do anything, so that goes well for her. Meanwhile, Rosemary and friends are actually able to defeat the octopus, and that's when it's revealed that it was actually just Caraway.
Teamwork.
Inside a robot octopus, because I guess robots exist in a fantasy universe, right? Yeah, that all fits together very well! Apparently it was a test in order to see which of the students were bad enough dudes to go on this specific mission with them. Now the mission that they're going on has to do with, yes, mermaids that are now being eaten by a sea dragon that is normally peaceful. So in order to study why this is happening, they need to capture the sea dragon alive. While they're on the quest, Snapdragon and Cal are in the same boat together, and Cal starts mocking him given the last time that they communicated with each other ever was him making fun of Snapdragon for being dressed up as a female mermaid. And since they're going on a mermaid-like mission, he wanted to get a few jabs in there. Now I think this could have had a funny turnaround, considering that it's revealed later that they're putting on these magical rings that actually allow them to turn into mermaids to go underwater. It would have been funny to see Cal's transformation scene into like a merman or whatever, and have him be all embarrassed because he was just making fun of Snapdragon for that exact thing. That's not what happens though. Instead, Snapdragon snaps and he beats the shit out of Cal. And Cal responds to this by jumping off the boat, swimming to shore, and then calling back to the teachers that he's going to walk all the way back to the academy. And the only reason why this happens that I can think of is because they wanted a scene where Cal explains to Amaryllis what Snapdragon did, so that she knows that something's up. But other than that, there's really no reason. They just wanted to excuse this character from the episode. Anyway, apparently Snapdragon beat his face in so hard that he broke his wrist. So now he can't join the girls going underwater and having a mermaid adventure. So the girls put on the magic rings and go underwater. For some reason, everyone else is allowed to bring their weapons with them, except for Rosemary. It feels like it might have been fairly easy to explain that away, but they just didn't bother with it. Now, while the girls are going on their mermaid adventure, Snapdragon has to stay up on the surface with Caraway. Some of you might be asking, wait a minute, why are no teachers going with the students to help defeat a bloodthirsty sea dragon? Good question. Anyway, so Caraway is trying to figure out why exactly Snapdragon snapped. On any other normal day, it would be kind of an open and shut case. But of course, this show does not want you to think of this scenario as a normal scenario. They want you to think deep psychological reasons for why Snapdragon acted out this way. And if you've heard anyone talk about High Guardian Spice, you know the reason why. Meanwhile, we get to the girls as mermaids now communicating with one of the main mermaids that are, I guess, leading the team. And can I just say, the mermaids, oh fuck. They tried to give them a mermaid language, which is supposed to be, from what I can tell, trying to mimic how dolphins talk. But it is the most hilarious, stupid sound you can imagine that they make amongst each other. It does not take long to get annoying. Oh, no, no, no. And yes, while being introduced to the mermaids, Time instantly falls in love. Just in case you needed validation that yes, every character in High Guardian Spice is part of the LGBT plus community. So while Caraway is trying to get Snapdragon to open up about his feelings, we get this flashback of him and his brother that kind of gives you an eye-opening view as to why exactly he is the way he is.
No, big brother, stop!
Okay, that's not exactly what happened. So we get a flashback into Snapdragon's childhood, and during that flashback we see a scene where he's being bullied by his brother whilst trying to protect this little rabbit. His dad steps in, and he basically tells Snapdragon that he shouldn't let his brother push him around like that, and if someone takes something precious away from you, you should fight to get it back. So he encourages Snapdragon to spar with him in order to get the rabbit back. And Snapdragon does exactly what his father tells him to, and despite his father's praise, he's still angry.
We'll make a warrior out of you yet!
Now, call me ignorant all you want, but at first I thought this flashback was actually trying to build up to this idea that maybe Snapdragon doesn't want to be a warrior. I thought that he was mad at his father for pushing him to be a warrior when he didn't want to be one. But then they just kind of hit you over the head with the boom, he's transgender. Call me ignorant all you want, I didn't think we were going in that direction. So some of you might be wondering, well, what did that flashback have to do with him being transgender? Well, I guess because his brother called him a girl.
Take it like the girl you are!
Anyway, of course Snapdragon does not know that transition magic exists.
Transition magic.
I didn't know that it existed.
Nobody in this fantasy universe knows that transition magic exists, despite the fact that he just watched his friends transform into mermaids. Still can't put it together that you can use magic to transform into other things. Anyway, getting back to the mermaids, I guess.
I'm not in trouble anymore? Well, that's up to you.
So they have this plan to use this little seahorse, which I guess has electrical powers like Pikachu. It does kind of look like a Pokemon. This is supposed to stun the sea dragon so that they can capture it, and Rosemary is put in charge of that because she don't got a sword. Their first attempt doesn't go very well, but then Sage comes up with the plan to trap the sea dragon inside the building. They successfully get the sea dragon to come into the building, but while trying to prevent the dragon from escaping, Sage accidentally loses control of her terrasphere and fatally wounds the dragon. Because Sage's magic only works when it's convenient for the plot. Now the dragon washes up on shore, and apparently the wound is so bad that they can't even use healing magic to heal it. Also, remember when Sage was introduced as a healer? Remember that? Good times. Also, if they have healing magic, why do they need healing water? Couldn't you use the regular healing magic on the rot? Would that work? Anyway, Caraway says, I can't use healing magic on it, it's too late for the dragon. Although the dragon isn't dead yet. So because of this, they have to put the dragon down, and Rose does this herself. So just to recap, that's 2 dragons that they've killed so far. Now I can understand killing maybe 1 dragon by accident, but how did you kill 2 dragons by accident? Aren't dragons supposed to be like one of the most powerful fantasy creatures out there? How did Sage single-handedly fatally wound a dragon so bad that they can't heal it with anything? How overpowered is Sage? And how did she get so overpowered? Write down your own theories in the comments section below. So they all have a good cry, and we get back to the High Guardian Academy, where Amaryllis confronts her friend Snapdragon, basically says, you know, whatever's wrong with you, we'll get through this together, I'm your friend and I want to be here for you. Which is the only moment in the show where Amaryllis actually seems to care about somebody. It's crazy. But for some reason, Snapdragon is really bipolar in this scene, so I can't help but laugh when I watch it.
Are you okay? My wrist feels like it's on fire.
Snap?
I like your nails.
Anyway, the very last scene that we see is of Time revealing that there was seaweed on the dragon covered in the rot, which is how they vaguely connect this to the rest of the plot of the show, is the fact that the dragon was also affected by the rot, which is why it turned evil. And that's where the episode ends. Oh yeah, for those of you wondering what Olive was doing throughout this whole shebang, she was reading Rose's diary. You know, really important villain things. It almost would have seemed more productive if they just pretended to leave and then caught Olive as soon as she snuck into Rose's room. Anyway, so that was High Guardian Spice episode 11. We have one more episode. The last episode is the episode that's supposed to wrap up the plot of the first arc with Olive. And keep in mind, we've barely seen Olive throughout most of the episodes in the first season, so you don't got that much to wrap up. There was all these filler episodes and side quests. But yes, unfortunately, next week we'll have our last High Guardian Spice review. Should I do something special for the last review? I could always get a fucking rosemary wig or something. Anyway, as usual guys, remember to like the video, leave your comments below, subscribe if you want to be notified when the new reviews come out, and I'll see you guys again next time. Till then, bye! Hey, you! Tired of reading bad comics? But there are no good comics. No, you're wrong! There's BurningstarComics.net. Original comics made by me and my friends. Stop reading bad comics and start getting to the indies, nerd. Wow. BurningstarComics.net. Check the link in the description.
Program restart.